has come about in a strong way, and in the last 5 years they've become really, really strong. There are multiple channels, and they're discussing all kinds of issues on the networks, talking
That's
about
great.
sexual harassment in workplaces, and this is unheard of in Islamic country before. So I think media, including Al Jazeera, have played a very important part in the development that's taken place in the Middle East, in South Asia, particularly Pakistan, in the last 5 years.
Wonderful. I'm wondering about that one comment by that one gentleman saying that Pakistan is the one place where if you give someone a bomb, they're going to. What was his point there? The gentleman with the white hair and the beard and.
Well, he was referring to the the concern or the fear that first came about with Newsweek and Time magazine reporting last year that Pakistan is the most dangerous place on the face of this earth. And then why should we worry about Pakistan? And main concern is that Pakistan has nuclear weapons and is so far the only Islamic country that's declared its nuclear assets and said, we are a nuclear power. And so people feel that if they fall in the hands of the Taliban or the terrorists or Al Qaeda, that will pose a big problem for that region and also for the West. So his comment, that's Joe, he's a poet and a writer.
Mm-hmm.
I interviewed him in Sebastopol 2 months ago, and he was very gracious in sharing his views with me. Tomorrow is the last interview I'm conducting with Ethan Casey. He's a veteran journalist who's lived in Pakistan, East Asia, and India, and he's written several articles about it and also 2 books about Pakistan. So tomorrow is my interview with him, and that will be the last interview, and then I start sending the movie out to film festivals.
So, how is the interview tomorrow going to be televised?
No, it's going to be private because
Mhm.
it's going to be a 2-hour interview, and then I'll have to edit that down to see where it fits in the documentary. So then I can edit that and make a new trailer in January. Then you can see Ethan's interview excerpts in there as well.
When will the film be ready for?
My goal is to send it out, complete it, finish it, and start sending it to film festivals in January.
Mm-hmm.
And having a private screening in San Francisco at the Delancey screening room, hopefully by March.
Where's that?
That's a beautiful screening room at the Embarcadero. It's in the Delancey Street. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh
They do
yeah,
a
I
lot
know the
of
place.
great
Mhm.
work. It's inside their housing.
Wow.
And from the outside, it looks like it's a housing complex, but once you walk in, it's like any art theater in San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
Very beautiful, nice lobby. We've had several screenings in the past over there, and it's really nice to, it's very old-fashioned in
Uh-huh.
many ways, and a beautiful theater. So we will have the screening there, a private screening in March, and I'll invite you as well
Oh please,
as an
yeah.
esteemed guest at the screening. But hopefully, people at large will get to see it through film festivals starting summer of next year.
Oh, okay. Because you definitely want to kind of take this kind of film to Sundance.
Exactly.
I mean, the American public, I think in general, we're very, ignorant. I mean, I know I am. I don't like. You were saying that the whole concept of terrorism. I think when people think of Pakistan because of its relationship with India too, and Kashmir and all that, that it's that it's the bad one, and India's the good one.
Well, see,
So
it's interesting for me because my father's side of the family is from India, North India, and they immigrated to Pakistan after partition. And my mom is a Baloch who are of Persian descent.
wow.
They speak a language which is very similar to Farsi. So I got to see both sides growing up in my family. And it's hard for me to take sides because I know that culturally we are the same, India and Pakistan. We share so much. And there are a lot of Muslims inside India.
Right.
So to say that, it's only a Hindu country and we have nothing in common, I think that was a political slogan. And I know when I say this, some people will get riled up, but that's a loaded question or discussion to be had at a different time. But I feel like we have so much in common, India and Pakistan, and we can benefit from having a good relationship with each other. But with regards to terrorism, that is something that is of concern to everybody, even most Pakistanis, because as you know, it's been in the media for a while that there are people in the security apparatus in Pakistan's establishment who are in cahoots with these elements, unfortunately, and this is why there's this problem brewing.
And do you? This is an off-the-topic question. Well, it's part of the topic. Do you think that Osama bin Laden is really dead?
Well, Who
knows?
Conspiracy theorists would argue that he's been dead for a while, and but they waited for an appropriate time to announce that to the American public, because the main reason to go to war and be in Afghanistan is because we didn't find the culprit, the mastermind, which was bin Laden, and had the news come out early on, then what was the point of staying there? But that's conspiracy theory. There's no solid evidence or proof, but so I don't really want to have a serious comment on that, because right now the bottom line is he's gone. Whether he was killed 5 years ago and they announced it right now, early March, or whether he is still languishing somewhere and they just dropped a body in the Arabian Sea. God knows if that's true or not. But the bottom line is he's gone. But as we know, that bin Laden being out of the scene hasn't changed anything really. I mean, the Al Qaeda is still there. There's Taliban. Of course, they become weak, and they're not as strong as they were 10 years ago. So that's the only achievement I would say that happened. But it was a slow and gradual process. It wasn't just take out this one bad guy and everything will be fine. I mean, just a case in point, look at Iraq. Saddam Hussein is out of the picture, but has Iraq stabilized? No, it hasn't stabilized. And that's the thing about trying to sow the seeds of democracy abroad, is that we got to understand as Americans that democracy needs to grow organically. You cannot just take a cookie cutter model and say we can plant democracy here and democracy there, because democracy needs time to grow. Look at the United States. It took 200 years for it to evolve and develop and grow. So the same will happen in that region as well.
Yeah. Feel free to call in, if you have questions, because, this is like a really important topic, and I think many people are, we have someone here who's obviously very well versed in what's going on in that region. Amir, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about that whole notion of terrorism? You've got Benazir Bhutto there and who's a gorgeous woman, and there she is. Some say her family had something to do with her death. Who, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like.
Well, the thing is, in Pakistan, people have too much time on their hands, so they spin out a lot of conspiracy theories, and there are a lot of stories out there. Some people say that the elements in the ISI, the Pakistani intelligence, had a hand in her assassination, because they fear that if she comes back to power, she will give access to the A.Q. Khan, which was a nuclear scientist, which is wanted for a number of reasons, but mainly because he's being accused of selling nuclear secrets to North Korea and Iran. And so they said, well, if she comes to power, she might give access to him, and then she might, because she is a close ally of the United States, and she'll do a lot of things which will be not in the interest of Pakistan. And some people say that her family was involved in it, but my main thing is that I don't want to pay too much attention to conspiracy theories, and
Yes.
we tend to do that a lot. And but if you read a lot of articles about what was happening in Pakistan, I feel that it's the Bhuttos have always been at odds with the security establishment, the establishment that runs Pakistan basically, for the longest time, and they used to see her as a security risk when she first came to power in 1988. They accused her of, oh, she's going to sell out to India because she wanted cordial relations with India. And I remember she invited unfortunately, another assassinated Prime Minister, Rajiv Gandhi, in 1989, and they were trying to build cordial relations with each other, and she did a number of, she took a number of great measures at that time. But the thing is, like, she's no more, and whoever killed her, obviously they are not peace-loving people.
Yeah.
In the West, in democracy, we know that people can have difference of opinions, but you don't go annihilating or killing your opponents. So I feel that it's very sad and unfortunate that it happened.
Yeah. I just can't wait to see this documentary. I think I love your filmmaking style. It's very, I call it kind of like pastiche, collage of, and I really like that style. It's like someone says something here and you're really interested in it, and but then we move here, and then I can see you being really good friends with Michael Moore. I can see you two really hitting it off, because he is probably one of the most well-regarded documentarians. Yeah, we're actually off the air, but Phil always lets us finish so I can put it on YouTube.
Okay.
And talk a little bit more.
Sure.
So that we, so then it's on YouTube.
Okay.
I'm glad you figured out how to play that.
I know, for once.
Once again, I'm sorry for being late, guys. I really apologize.
Public access.
Can't help.
Happens all the time.